What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm going to show you how you just don't have to lose war fights anymore. With the current meta, and if you have a proper counter sheet that is what you use your teams against and what you need to keep on offense, you could really minimize all your losses, which is incredible. And this is how Super Troopers has gone from like the 4th or 5th best war alliance in the game to number 1. That's right, we're ranked number 1 right now. So I have a little bit of knowledge in this department, as I do help construct, counters for the alliance, and I give some advice and everything. And although sometimes the punch-ups are too big to overcome, for the most part, in this meta, you don't have to lose. You just don't. Let's go ahead and jump into that. And I did go a little bit extra because I binged watched One Piece last night, and I just wanted to. So enjoy the cringe fest. All right, guys, so we got to start this journey off talking about the smaller guys. That's right. Yoda was our first step into the big boy territory, but they are a smaller alliance. They're actually smaller than our TCP now. So they are in a similar boat to us, and they punch up tremendously. They do amazing work. And that's why you really can't underestimate the little guys. Don't risk any losses. All right, so your Dark Hunters, it's never worth trying to use them against Heroes for Hire anymore. We have so many offensive options that to use them against the pre-taunt version or against the Captain America version is just asking for losses. And in these losses, you just can't afford it. You really can't. Dark Hunters suck. But fortunately, they can be used to take out a lot of the babier teams. So Web Warriors, they walk over. Bionic Avengers, they can work, but honestly, I wouldn't use them there either. Rebirth, they can also work. Marauders, if it's with Cloak and Dagger, they work, but on full Marauders, don't use them. If you haven't built up Dark Hunters, I just wouldn't. I really wouldn't. And then we talk about some other teams. Shadowlands and Ravagers are done. Secret Avengers is still going to be pretty useful just because of the speed meta. And then you have X Factor. Now, X Factor is your most reliable, bad offensive team. And that's pretty much because of the hybridization you can put into them. So obviously, Zemo's a very favored character there. And then there's X-23. So X-23 doesn't get speed off crits like, say, Multiple Man would, who is the person who gets subbed out. But as your X Factor smack around these characters, she gets a bunch of speed. She can do ability blocks. She's multiple hitting, so she's also doing crits. So I love that team. Into Bionic Avengers, it's an auto win. Into Rebirth, it's an auto win. Into Web Warriors, it's annoying because they'll dodge, but it is also an auto win. So that's one of my favorite matchups to take with X Factor. All right, so with those small guys out of the way, we probably should talk about really the only time TCP matters. So I said, never lose a warfight again, and I stand by that, but there are a few occasions where power matters, and we just want to avoid those as much as possible. So Infinity Watch, Death Seed, they kind of experience a little bit of power dependency, especially in matchups against Tangled Web and Masters of Evil. Now, they can do amazing punch-ups too. It's just a little bit riskier, especially if there's a big Kang or a big 2099 who, say, doesn't die to your Death Seed opener. Like the one you're seeing here, I think was just a 200 or 300k punch-up, but it fell flat fast. And then we're not showing Infinity Watch, but I mean, they're still a standout offensive team, but they're beginning to experience a little bit of power creep. And the big concern is that Apocalypse might actually neuter them because he's going to take away their safeguard on spawn, leaving them vulnerable to a couple of these lower teams. And I think that's where Apocalypse is actually going to get placed. We'll talk about him more in a second. But I just would beware big punch-ups into Death Seed and Unlimited X-Men with your Infinity Watch, because you can absolutely get overrun and just not know where the heck it went wrong. It's possible to punch up, but just use the sure to win teams like Weapon X will not lose those matches, so you might as well use them. And then you have Weapon X. I mean, they can struggle, at least the new teams, coupled with the pre-taunt, but they're okay. And Death Seed, they scale super well, so I wouldn't worry too much about them. Anyway, Onslaught out of the way, we got to talk about the initial dragon that we slayed that really showed us, the light, and that was Legion. So just don't waste your sure to win teams. And that's going to be like your Tangled Web, your A-Force, your War Dogs. Tangled Web, not at the same level, anywhere near War Dogs or A-Force, but what they do is incredible. So the 3 Tangled Web members can punch up like 400k into Young Avengers, at least in practice. And then you can just throw in any 2 characters. Maybe they'll do some debuffs, maybe they'll do some control. Heck, maybe they'll just give it some energy, because why not? But basically what that does is it frees up your A-Force. And your A-Force is such an amazing team. A-Force can literally beat anything except for Darkhold and Gamma. So there's 8 slots where A-Force just demolishes, and that's the power that Tangled Web brings to your roster. And then it's like, well, Tangled Web could be great on defense. Yeah, but I could also just mirror match any Tangled Web and be perfectly fine. And then I just go back to A-Force scene on the Young Avengers. And then it's a zero-sum game. I've still taken out 2 of your rooms, which is what I was going to do from the beginning, and you haven't changed much. And also, if I wanted to A-Force your Tangled Web because I needed to do a bigger punch-up, then I could do that too. Then we got to talk about War Dogs briefly. So, I mean, A-Force and War Dogs, they're very similar. They're like the versatile Swiss Army knives of your offense. They'll counter an extreme punch-ups. Like, War Dogs can punch up 500-600k into Heroes Guardians. So you're no longer banking on your Icarus to getting a double tap for the win, because that did lead to some RNG failures. Look to use these teams early in War, guys, so that you can really race through to those global rooms, make everything easier. So abuse their ability to do huge punch-ups to make everything else not need to be a huge punch-up. So though Legion was that first big dragon that we ever slayed, Mutiny kind of did it first. And they did it in such an impressive way. I think they went like 96 or 98 wins in a row or something like that over the year. Now, granted, you know, every 6 out of 8 of those wins were giant punchdowns and alliances that just didn't try against them. But it was still impressive nonetheless. Until we came along and we were able to take them out. Now, we got a lot of respect for them. I know they got a lot of respect for us, and they did from the beginning. And one of the ways we were able to take them out is just by executing on the most important matchups. That's going to be your Darkhold and your Gamma. And you got to use the right counters for them. So your Underworld team absolutely smashes Darkhold. I've done up to an 800k punch up. The thing about Underworld is they're a very war offensive team, and you need to have them pretty balancedly built. You need Kingpin huge for his summons, you need Mr. Negative huge for his summons, Taskmaster for his assists, and Goblin's kind of that like safety blanket in case you don't get some kills. Nobu is the only character that he's just there for kit. You don't have to have Nobu super big, though I'm sure he helps in some way or form. And then there's the Gamma. I know people love to try and one-shot Gamma. It feels so good when you Undying, Dorm, Tangled Web, a Gamma, and you can get it done. But let me tell you, and just be frank with you, that is a dumb idea, okay? You risk losing. And then instead of having 1 loss, you can start having 2 losses or 3 losses. We had an alliance, a very respectable alliance. I think they lost 8 times to one Gamma team, just refusing to burn it. The burn team you saw previously on the bottom right here is definitely what I would suggest to do with Mysterio, Emma, Colossus is whatever. You don't need to use Colossus. And then Phoenix and Bishop over in a corner to make sure that they're eating those attacks. It's just, you are 100% guaranteed to get the Red Hulk Ultimate and second special. And that's going to be more important than ever, especially with Apocalypse coming, because we're not going to want to let him give speed up to Apocalypse, the Red Hulk, that is. So just don't try and burn it. Right now, you are guaranteeing yourselves 24 losses by doing this burn attack, but that's okay, because there is really no reason in this current meta that you need to take an additional 24 losses after that. And that's just how you win wars. Don't be greedy. Don't rack up those defensive losses. Do the burn on Gamma, then hit it with Eternal's Undying Dorm. It's almost foolproof. Boosts don't even help. I've done up to a 600k punch up using this burn method. Don't be greedy. And I may be wrong, guys, but I don't think Apocalypse is going to change anything. I've gone over his kit multiple times, tried to pack him into either Darkhold or Gamma to see if he can make those sure to win matchups, which are the most important matchups to execute properly, if he can make them lose. Now, the problem with him on Darkhold is he's too slow and he doesn't give immunity on spawn. He gives it after his first turn. The Underworld team will have gone a bunch of times by then. Morgan will have already killed herself. And let's be honest, 90% of the population is going to be getting a 5 yellow, 2 red star Apocalypse. He's got 500,000 life. I wouldn't be surprised if big Taskmasters are just instantly killing him. I really wouldn't be. He's not going to have more damage than Morgan at those star levels either, so it's not like he's going to pull the taunt. So I don't think he changes that. I could be wrong. I could be. And then for Gamma, it's just not a good fit. So he has 122 speed. He does get speed up from Red Hulk. What you would need to do is you would need to find a way so that he's taking his second turn when you're trying to do your kill attack. Now, here's the problem with that. With the burn we outlined before, you're going to pull that Red Hulk second special every single time. So he's not giving the speed up to Apocalypse, and then Apocalypse is sitting at a mere 122 speed. And again, he's vulnerable to getting one shot. when you go in there with Eternals, assuming Icarus doesn't get rewind, he's going to rewind Apocalypse, maybe kill him, maybe get a double tap. That could be dangerous. But even if Icarus for some reason gets rewind because you didn't pull the Red Hulk special, well, that'll just change everything. That's not going to happen. So we don't even need to talk about that. But Cersei will also do a rewind. It's unlikely that Apocalypse for most people sees a turn if you're doing the burn method for that. Now, if you're trying to one-shot it, I could definitely see that being different. But like I said before, it's never worth trying to one-shot it. It's just not. Now, what could change? What could change the current state of war, right? And stop this whole glass cannon method, this thing I'm promoting right now, from working for you? If they add an 11th or 12th room, that would stretch your roster out a lot more. You'd have to have more counters. You might have to start dipping back into Ravagers and Shadowlands, which would be a headache for a lot of people. Quicksilver coming. He's supposed to be an amazing plug and play character. He could be good. And Apocalypse, though I'm downplaying him in the big rooms, he could definitely be used in one of the smaller rooms to power boost, say, a Rebirth team, or power boost Marauders team, or a Death Seed team, or whatever the case may be. Now, Death Seed I still think would get easily beaten on the mirror matchup, but we'll talk about that another time. Well, we're obviously going to do a bunch of testing on Friday when he comes out. But what's most likely going to happen is we're going to get a new war meta defense team and a big team. It's not going to be like Young Avengers. Now, Young Avengers were good, but they didn't explode into the meta, right? The big ones did. I think we're going to get another, not hero for higher level, but another gamma level team where you can try and one-shot it, but it's super risky. But you're going to be better off maybe burning it and then going back at it. Because I think they learned their lesson for Heroes for Hire. God, I hope they learned the lesson for Heroes for Hire. But the wars are going super fast. When we beat Onslaught, we had to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. They don't want that. The players don't want that. And the Kraken Alliances communicate that with them. Like, we don't want to be racing at early hours of the morning because, we can stay within 24 to 48 losses. That 48 loss number is kind of like the magic number, where right now, if you get them to go over that, you automatically win. But I think Scopely wants to shift that. And I think the competitive alliances too, man, I don't, because I do these crazy punch-ups and I love the war meta. But I do think we're going to get a new team that's going to facilitate that kind of a change in war. And we'll see how it goes. Now, I think there's also going to be other changes to war coming. And we'll know about that soon, I believe. And guys, we've been going through this video and I've been showing this picture and kind of scrolling through it. I am going to make this available on the Discord and on the Patreon, so you can check that out. Those are my preferred team matchups. There are other options here, guys, like your War Dogs can take out a whack of other things. Those are just the teams I think they are the most efficient against. And when I say efficiency, I don't mean like they live super good. No, I mean those teams are the best teams to use because they are the hardest teams to take out. So using the appropriate counter in that regard is very important to make sure you don't run out of counters. But yeah, that'll be available to you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. That's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and bye-bye.
That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.